We're back. We're like a bad smell, Jazz, aren't we? Just keep coming back. Second show of the day. This is our last one of the day, and most importantly, we're previewing the game tomorrow. West Ham taking the trip up to the Midlands to face Aston Villa. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys at home in the chat and everything. We've reached another milestone in our short journey. Just under 2 months, we've hit 300 subscribers. So thank you to everyone. Before we introduce our fantastic guest, I'd like to thank our channel sponsor Glazewise, Windows Doors Conservatory. John is your man, and if you quote West Ham Reunited, you get a discount. And of course, Irons supporting food banks. Where are you? Here we are. If any home game, if you can make any donation, of course you can go to the website and make a money donation if you wish. So we just wanted to give a shout out to them. Jazz, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. As you know, we gathered earlier on during the day to watch the draw. So yeah, Spurs away. It is what it is. So let's go for it. Really, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely exciting times, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Mike, most importantly, how are you, sir?
I'm good, mate. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on. I've just realised, because obviously I can see myself now, and I look like I haven't changed out my pyjamas. But, just to make it clear, this is a shirt. I am washed, shaved, and showered, and but yeah. So, but great to be here.
Yeah, no, that's good, mate. First of all, I know it's a preview, but we've not seen you. What do you make of West Ham at the minute, the last few results?
Oh, what can I say? Awesome. And as you saying to Jazz earlier, like before we came on there, when I was at the Man U game in the Carabao Cup, and we heard about the draw on the way to the station after, and then my lad was saying to me, "Oh, you know, that's us out. We've got City and blah blah blah," and I was like, "Well, they won't want to play us." And I was quietly hopeful, but to knock them out is a major step forward for West Ham, I think. Do you know we keep getting these like almost blocks of progression, and I think that was a really big one. It shows. I feel on our day we genuinely can beat anyone, but there's also a level of consistency as well. So over the moon. I mean, really good.
Yeah, no, mate. I'm exactly the same as you. And the fact that you go into the stadium, like the atmosphere, that I know Jazz wasn't at the game on Wednesday, but the Tottenham, the Genk, like the place is absolutely bouncing, and it's just such a great time to be a West Ham fan. And can we make it 5 wins in a row? When was in all competitions? It's mad to think that, isn't it?
I know, and yeah, I said to my lad again. He's 9. He's a huge West Ham fan, fanatic, and he's saying to me, because we live up north, and everyone here supports City or whatever, you know, and they've been they tease him a bit about it, but he can hold his own at the moment. And I said to him, just enjoy this. Enjoy it. I'm not being pessimistic and say it won't last forever, but we've had a lifetime of supporting West Ham, and we know the reality. And but it's just you just enjoy these times. It's such fun.
Yeah. It is, and I was speaking to Andy earlier. It's probably the best time for me since I've started following the club. And Mike, I think Man City and Liverpool are the 2 obstacles that you were probably thinking of. Man City, we've done that one. Liverpool, we haven't beaten them, I think, in a while. So that one's coming up. And if we do that, you can see the confidence is through the roof at the club. You know, how long may that carry on?
Yeah, definitely. Got some injury news, not for us, like some team news updates. So Emi Martinez was a worry for Villa due to a family emergency, and he had to fly back to Argentina. He come back into the country yesterday, so he is expected to play. He's a fantastic goalkeeper,
he is.
And it is the battle of the goalkeepers, really, because Fabianski's hitting form at the right time, Mike. What have you made of Fabianski? Because, like you said, me and Jazz have been critics, but we can't the last 3 or 4 games he's featured. He's sort of upped his game up.
Oh, and in a way, I don't think you can talk about Fabianski without talking about Areola, because the reason he's upped his games is he knows that shirt's in peril. doesn't he?
Yeah.
We've got genuine competition, and it's not like Ariola's been rubbish either. I thought he was outstanding against City. So Fabianski knows he cannot be, he's normally good to above average or excellent. He's never rubbish, is he, Fabianski? But he's having to pull out excellent week in, week out now. Otherwise, he's going to lose that shirt. And I think that is the wisdom of getting Areola in. Whether he is some sort of long-term replacement for Fabianski or not, I don't know. But I mean, ultimately, just that level of competition is pushing the players. And I think you start to see that a hell of a lot around the squad, but especially with Fabianski. What do you think, guys?
He hasn't done a foot wrong. Like even like the when he come out and commanded his box on Sunday against Spurs in the last minute, when he started coming, I was like, please make it. Do you know what I mean? He's committed to it. But even I know he can't kick no more, but I like what he was doing, throwing the ball. Literally, like he picked the ball up on the right, throwing it to the wing, like just trying to get us on the counter attack a bit quicker. Like you said, I think he is playing for his contract, but probably in the Premier League, probably last season, you could probably say De Gea and Henderson were probably the best number two, like two goalkeepers, like number one and number two. But I think ours is probably right up there now. Jazz, what about you?
Yeah, I think so. I think with Fabianski, he's always been about his injury, kicking ability, distribution, like we've talked about in the past, and he doesn't kick it anymore. And I'm beginning to think, speaking to a few fans, perhaps it's tactical that he rolls it just to the side to the fullbacks. But I'm always aware when you do that, and you got players rushing at the fullbacks, and they have to be very careful how they maneuver that ball from the back to the front. But that's what they want to do. Areola, I mean, when you're hardly playing and you expected to hit the ground running with a new back four, more or less every cup game. I mean, some of those saves he done on Wednesday. I mean, 3 I can remember, amazing. And he's the opposite of Fabianski. He's so agile, so quick around the box. And 2 very different goalkeepers. Obviously, one about to be in his prime, and then I believe it's a 13 million agreement. Whether it's a Dawson type agreement that we can get over the line in January, I don't know. Some people are still saying that Moyes likes Sam Johnston. Is it? I don't know much about him, but
he's a sought-ass client. We're all going to be linked with him. He's a sought-ass client. That's the reason why the rumours are not going away. In my opinion, Mike, do you want to add anything?
Is it? I didn't know that he's a Slaughterhouse client. I didn't know. It's good info, Andy. Yeah,
of course he is.
Right, yeah. And he's free as well. His contract's up. But you are going to get anyone outside the top 6 trying to sign him. He's a pretty good goalkeeper, but you've got in Areola, you've got a player for that. I know it's a lot of money, but it's not really for a really good goalkeeper in his prime. He wants to play. He wants to live in London. He really liked living in London when he was at Fulham. He wants to play for us, and we've got a deal. Would you call it ready-made, as certain people would say, oven ready to go. I'd be more inclined to go with that. But I mean, he looks great. But what? I mean, we've generally had good goalkeepers at West Ham. You know, I think we've done pretty well with them. But traditionally, it's great to have that level of competition.
Yeah, no, definitely. Some more injury news. So just so people are aware, the host could start with Leon Bailey or Bertrand Traore for the visit of West Ham. While Keenan Davis is back. He's back after a knee injury. But the good thing is, because he always turns into think, is Trezeguet's out. Still on the comeback, and Morgan Sanson, and I don't even know I'm not even going to try and say that. No, Jaden
Fellaini, or something like that.
Yeah. So they're also out. So they're missing a few players as well. Which is that the one player? Obviously, I've put him up on the left hand side. There is Matty Cash, a player who we were linked with. Obviously, we went down the Soufal route. Mike, did you see much of Matty Cash? Do you like him?
I think he's a really good player. He's really good getting forward. He's just really terrific crosser of the ball. That's the thing he does really well. I actually think Koufal's probably better all round. because Kufal's just a beast at defending, and Matty Cash, I think he's a good defender, but he's not as good as Kufal at that end. But I do really like him. If he was to come to West Ham, I'd have no complaints. Though, let's face it, we are now, for the first time in like 15, 20 years, well stocked with right backs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he used
to be a winger. So like he's like I know Moyes sort of makes that statement of adjusting players, but I can't see Villa ever selling him unless it was a big. But I would take him as a backup as a right midfielder. Do you know with Bowen to alter with Bowen? Do you know what I mean? Have him as a winger because he's got the pace and he can cross, and that could be another alternative if we could.
I see your point. It's a good one. But Ben Johnson used to be a winger.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? It's worth considering that, and I know Moyes has experimented with Ben Johnson before further forward, and I actually see that as maybe a goer as well at some point. If we needed to rotate or we had injuries, we could go that way because he's a really good crosser. So he's not. I mean, Matty Cash is better. I'm not pretending he's not, but he's but yeah, it is worth considering. Yeah, he is a good player. I like him. What do you think, Jazz? Matty Cash?
Yeah, he's certainly going forward. There's no issues with him. He's not a good defender like Kafal, not as good as him. I think David Moyes was interested, but then with the fund we had, you can only do one or two things.
I think Villa paid like 20 million, close to 15, 20 million.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. And Tufa only cost 5, as Ryan Archer always says as well. So,
but then Cash is significantly younger, and that does play into this.
Yeah.
Villa, as we know, they've got a lot of money. We'll discuss a bit later about owners and things like that. But yeah, they do have wealthy owners.
So I've got some head-to-head. This is in the just in the Premier League era. So Aston Villa have got 13 wins. There's been 20 draws, and we've won 11 times. So it's a lot of draws. Very equal. I remember this will sort of bring your sort of knowledge in the 90s. We struggled to beat them, didn't we? When they had the likes of John Gregory in charge, people like that. Ron Atkinson. You sort of ripped that game off. Especially it's only the last few years we've actually been getting results at Villa Park, because that was another one where you sort of write it off, really, wouldn't you, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. And they're a big club. I think it's easy to forget because they went through that whole relegation phase. They struggled to get back from the Championship. But they are a huge club. They're the biggest club in the second biggest city in the country. They've got a massive support base. They've got a decent ground, and now they've got some financial backing. They aren't to be taken lightly in any way, shape, or form. They're a big, big club, and I'm not being. This might be controversial. Back in the day, certainly, and by that I mean maybe 10 years ago, they were way bigger club than we were. I don't think you could argue
under
now.
Martin O'Neill when they were finishing 5th, weren't they?
Yeah,
stuff like that as well.
Funny enough, I remember going to a home game against that Martin O'Neill team, and which we lost 1-0 to a deflected cross which looped over Rob Green. But we held our own in that game. I thought we played really well, and we're unlucky to lose. Cole missed a couple of sitters, but they were basically a better team and a bigger team. But I do think now that that gap's really closed, and that's the thing. You can say Villa are a big team. They had their moment. They really put away, and now there's this little group, us and Leicester especially, that have really caught up with them. But
Yeah, no, definitely. Just had a look, so it might be easier actually if I 1 second. If I bring it up, it'll be easier for people at home to see as well. 1 second. Getting good at this now, Jazz. Showing people stuff as well instead. So let's zoom in a bit. 1 second. So this is the results since. So we haven't lost to Villa since 2015.
Yeah, it's been a while, isn't it? Yeah.
So as you can see there, we Boxing Day, we drew 1-1. I remember Creswell scored a worldie that day. When we drew 1-1, obviously beating them at home. Let's have a look who played in that game. Mikel Antonio and Cheku Kiarte. Remember that? The last year at the Bowling?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember that one. That was when Antonio scored a header, and it was like a cross-come shot. Obviously, there's a few draws in there. and of course, last season at the London Stadium behind closed doors, obviously Angelo Ogbonna and Jared Bowen got the goals, and that's when Grealish was practicing for the Tokyo Olympics when he was diving. That was that game.
Yeah.
But no, if you just look at that, really there, obviously that was that game. So yeah, no, we've got a good record considering, and obviously this was my game of the season. Remember this one?
Yeah.
Lingard's debut, the last time we were there.
Yeah.
Lingard getting 2, and obviously Thomas Souček. So yeah, no, it's a
If I
great time
remember
to be.
correctly, didn't we have Kufal? Yeah, he had Grealish, and Grealish took him out 4 months to get out of Kufal's pocket, didn't he? And he just absolutely destroyed him, didn't it? It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good game. I thought we played really well, and you're right. It was the Jesse Lingard moment, wasn't it? You know,
Mike, it was that bad. The manager told him to go to the other wing, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Grealish didn't listen and got done. And I didn't realise West Ham in the betting, they're the favourites to win this game. Isn't that something?
Yeah. Well, it goes to show, though, as Andy was saying earlier about our current form, and it goes to show where we are in those terms, you know, because I think we're favourites to win it. On current form.
Yeah, I want to ask, what do you think of the manager? Because I'm not sure about him now. I don't know, especially with the money.
Do you know what? I think he needs to start winning, or he's going to lose his job.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done well to get him up. I actually quite like him, but if you were to say, what do Aston Villa do? Are they a defensive team or counter? Are they a possession-based team? Are they a high-press team? What's their basic shape? What's that philosophy, to use that pompous word, but it kind of does hold a bit? What is it? Because I don't know. They haven't really got an identity. They've got some good players, but have they got an? Like, you look at West Ham by contrast. There we have got a firm identity, haven't we? You can see everyone knows what we're going to do. You can't counteract it particularly well, but you know what's going to happen. You know what the ethos of the team is, you know. And but I think you can't with Villa. I still don't really get that wholeness.
Yeah.
Like, and again, to use another team of sort of similar parity, you look at Leicester. You know what you're getting off Leicester. You know what their ethos is. It doesn't always work by any chance, but you know what's going to happen with them. And what they're about, but I don't see it with Villa. And I think they need that with those sort of, especially with some of the new players coming in. Buendia, one of the best players, the best player in the Championship last season, coming in off that left-hand side, off the right-hand side, to play with it on his left foot. What do they do? Switch to a back three and play him through the middle.
But Mike, I mean, I just remember that when we beat them 2-1 last season, their manager was becoming a bit arrogant. And if you remember, they kept diving, didn't they? If you remember, stop and start, really playing dirty tactics. That didn't go down too well for me either. So he went through that phase where he got a bit cocky on the back of the promotion season. Then they spent a lot of money last year. Now he's a little bit up and down because they've been taken to the cleaners in a couple of games this season. So I'm hoping that form carries on for them and we kind of get something out of the game, really. And
I think if you look at what's happened to them in games when they go behind, their heads drop, and they lack that kind of. I wonder where the leadership is in that team, because if you score, their heads drop. That's why they tend to get a little bit thumped. They, I mean, 2 or 3 goals in that first game of the season. When they were 3-0 down, they got a couple right at the end, but that was Danny Ings almost on his own dragging them through that, I felt. But you look at the rest of the team, there just doesn't seem to be any kind of like, I'm not taking that. If we go behind, we don't give up. In fact, you can see the work rate up. Okay, let's get this back. You don't see that from them.
I think the formation's been disturbed with Ings coming in. I was saying to Andy earlier, I don't think they're going to play 2 up front for long. They're going to go back to 4-3-3. I think we'd push Watkins to the wing, Ings in the middle, perhaps. And
so here we go. So, question for you. We'll sort of get to the starting 11s in a sec, but Lawrence has kindly put in this chat. Jazz, we'll start with you on this one. Will Johnson start tomorrow?
First of all, thanks. Hello, Lawrence. Lawrence is from the US, so we were discussing a few things on Twitter. He's got a very colourful background in the army, in the Gulf War. He was in the army, so we had a good discussion. So thanks, Lawrence, for subscribing and watching. Johnson, very good question. Oh, wow, that's a toughie, because Kafal he's more or less back now, isn't he, really?
Yep.
Oh, that's a toughie, that one.
But if you were David Moyes, what would you do?
He likes to stick with his trusted people and bring Johnson along gradually. So I think Kafal probably, because considering he had 2 good games against Villa last season as well, Kafal I think would probably get the nod. But Johnson's coming on nicely. I'm really happy with him. I was a little bit.
Talking to Devil, look, he's behind me. Look, he's looking at us.
No, he surprised me, mate. He surprised me, Johnson.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it? And I think it's like the biggest one we need to answer for starting lineup this week with West Ham. I think because I'll get what you're saying, Jazz, but can I ask you a question? Has Johnson done anything to merit being dropped?
Not conceded a goal.
You've got this thing, haven't you, with players, especially if they come through from youth, they'll get their chance. We've got this thing where you will get an opportunity. You get that opportunity, you take it, and then you're dropped. What message is that sending out? And Moyes has got this real thing of is you're picked on form and on merit. And I get that Kufal he wouldn't have got so many games if Kufal didn't get injured. And Kufal is a really, really good player, but does he warrant getting dropped? I think a lot of this also is down to the fact he's played a lot of games in a short space of time, and maybe he needs to rest anyway. That might be the deciding factor. But if he was just on form, I don't think you drop him. He ain't conceded a goal, and he's right. He's not conceded a goal.
Nice headache, isn't it?
I mean, we went through so many years of having no right back worth speaking of. When Antonio's playing there, you've got a selection for issue, right? And and now we've got too many of them because Fredericks has looked good this season when he's come on as well. I'm like, I wouldn't dismiss him, but yes, great. We got what happened to the other guy, Jeremy Ngakia. He's on the subs bench for Watford now, isn't he? He was going to be the future. But now we got Johnson.
He got destroyed when they played Liverpool the other week. That was bad. he got twisted and turned inside out. Afternoon, Cyber. Hope you are well. So let's have a look here. So I'm going to get the team obviously up. What played against Tottenham last week. So we had Lucas Fabianski in goal, Aaron Creswell left back, centre partners of Ogbonna, Zuma, and then Johnson, and then Rice. Rice, don't know why they put it that way. Rice and Souček were sort of holding, and then Fornals, Antonio, Benrahma, and Bowen. Would you be surprised if that's not the starting 11 tomorrow, Jazz?
No, actually, the more Mike has changed my mind now. I think it's going to be Johnson playing. It's going to be Johnson. Yeah, same team as last season. Yeah, winning team, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's going to be Johnson. Yeah.
No, definitely. Let's have a look. Luke's back in the chat as well. Hope you're well. For no right backs for as many as 18 months. Yeah,
it's a good point.
It's a very good point. Aston Villa. They played Arsenal. They got absolutely battered last week. In the first half, they didn't even have a shot didn't even have a shot. Sorry, not even on target. They didn't even have a shot. Yeah. They played with. It looks like a back. Oh no! I hate websites when they do it. So they're playing a back. They play 5-3-2 at the minute. So they play Martinez. They play Matty Cash as the right wing back, Target as a left wing back, and then Tuanzebe, who's on loan from Man United, with Konsa and Mings. That is I don't know why they concede so many goals. Like Konsa especially and Tuanzebe are great defenders. And then, like you said, they have McGinn, Louise, and Bundia, who Mike mentioned earlier, and then Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins. Yes, Danny Ings was the one that got away from me. Can you imagine if we had Danny Ings even Ollie Watkins from last season? Can you imagine the difference that will make? Mike, what do you reckon of Ings and Watkins?
I don't think you can play them up front together. The reason he's gone for that shape is he wants to play both of them up front together. And I think Jazz said earlier that he could see him switching to a 4-3-3, and I've got a feeling they would be much better in a 4-3-3. But answering your question, I think they're individually really good players. I think Ings is one of the most underrated strikers of his generation. Largely, I think. I know he's had bad injuries and whatever, but in any other sort of decade or in another generation of players, he's England's number one striker, isn't he? I know because he's such a natural goal scorer, and he is. He's a really, really good goal scorer. I really rate him as a goal scorer, but I don't think he's right for West Ham. We don't play well with a poacher. And that's what he is. Admittedly, he runs the channels more than a normal poacher would, but that's what. Yeah, we need someone Antonio-esque. Do you know what I mean? It's like we need someone like that who puts in the hard shaft. If you want to talk about the striker who got away with us, it's Patson Daka.
Yeah,
that he would have been. Absolutely monstrous in our team, and because that guy's going to be a Premier League defence destroyer within probably before the end of the season. I could just see him.
I think Leicester's done the smart thing again, like what they've done with Maguire, Kante, and all that. They've bought him to get sell on back. They'll probably sell him for 60-70 million next summer. He won't be around. That's what they're good at. But for me, I know Villa's got the investment, but if they're sort of going with, I would tempt to not. If apparently we've got 40 million in January, let's just say that, I would go and offer 40 million for Watkins in January. Honestly, I would. I would test it. They paid 30 million for him, and he's not hit the form yet, but I think he would for us, and he can play on the wing. He can play on the left as well, and then we're sort of getting two for the price of one. Jazz, would you consider him, Watkins?
I don't think they'll release at 40, but certainly he's the type of player that we need to slowly bring in while Antonio's still there. And his full name, ladies and gentlemen, is Oliver George Arthur Watkins.
Sounds like a prime minister, doesn't it?
Mike, I wanted to ask you one thing about Danny Ings. Do you see a little bit of a Clive Allen in him?
Yeah, he is. He does remind me of Clive Allen. You're right. I hadn't thought of that, but now you've mentioned it. You're right. Going back to your Ollie Watkins thing, I'll come back to Ings, by the way. It's a really good point. The thing is, if Dean Smith isn't there, you would have a really good shot with that 40 million. You know what I mean? Because he's a Dean Smith signing. He managed him at Brentford. He knows all about him. Comes in. Now, I'm not convinced Dean Smith will be there in January. Okay, if we go and polish him off, he's in real trouble because they want to be where we are. We're almost the line in the graph where they want to be. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So if we go and beat them, then we're still well ahead of them. And with the investment they've got, I think that line it really shows. It will show off how far off, and yet they've spent a lot of money. I know, but they've sold their best player as well. But so in that case, I think your idea is a really good one. I think you'd have an outside chance of getting him, especially if we were to put things like a sell-on clause in and stuff like that. But I think Watkins, way more than Ings, going back to your Clive Allen thing, Watkins is the player out of their team that would flourish in ours. I agree with you. That's the one. He's the only player in their team, by the way, maybe Matty Cash, but we're overstuffed for right backs anyway. He's the only player in their team I would really want.
He's such a hard worker.
That could improve us. Do you know what I mean?
But would you have McGinn? Would you have McGinn?
No, not allowed to. So no.
No,
you don't think he's good? You don't? Do you think he's a good player?
Yeah, he's good.
He's a good player every other game.
Yeah.
Every other game, he turns up, and every other and he can be a liability in the off games. He can give the ball away.
Joey reminds me of. He reminds me of like Do you remember Lucas, who used to play for Liverpool? One of them annoying little players who clips on the heels, and like that's what I mean. But the one thing I will say, he's got a wand of a left foot though. He scored some thingies. He's a good. I'm not saying first team. Do you know what I mean? But he is a player who wouldn't. He's getting on a bit now, isn't he? Actually, I think he's like 27, 28, and when you've got the likes of Crowell being 23 years of age, that would be the option. But
you see, you can say McGinn's got one with a left foot and he scores some crackers. Yeah, but in fantasy football, you wouldn't touch him with a barge pole because he does that twice a season, and the rest of the time he's always on a booking. The guy is permanently booked. Do you know what I mean? So you just lose points on him all the time, and that's a good way of analysing him. Yeah, he'll score a worldie 2 or 3 times a season, and he can disappear in games, and he's always on a yellow. Always.
Talking of that, has anyone got any Leicester players in their fantasy football team?
No.
Good job. They're 2-0 down to Arsenal.
Oh, I had Harvey Barnes. I was telling Mike at the beginning, and I let him go after 5 games. Yeah,
so Gabriel scored after 5 minutes, and Emil Smith-Rowe scored after 18 minutes, half time.
I tell you who I do have in my fantasy team, though, Jazz.
Who?
The goalkeeper for Arsenal,
Ramsdale.
Yeah,
He's done really well, I've heard, and I didn't think he was all that, mate. So
me neither. I only switched it this week because Brentford's goalkeeper, and he's injured. He's out until March.
5 months, isn't he, Raya?
Yeah. So, which is a bummer because I had to take a hit on it because I had to have a goalkeeper, so I just went for Ramsdale, and hopefully it'll give me some points. I actually didn't really do it for this week. I thought Leicester would score, but we're halfway there.
Arsenal fans have taken to him really quickly, the goalkeeper. They love him. Yeah.
We're buying Mohamed Bayo.
He's that French striker, isn't he? He's from France. I'll get his
French striker from France. Yeah.
Well, no, he plays in France. Sorry, I can't remember what team he plays for. I think he plays for Rennes. I think I'm going to find out now. And Luke's saying, I would have their goalkeeper.
Actually, you're right. He's brilliant. Okay, you've got a good point. Again, I quite like the 2 we've got, but he is a really good goalkeeper. I agree with that as well. He is really good.
Definitely.
Nice one, Luke.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Go on, Jad. Sorry.
How's Mikhail been? I heard that he knows the Czech guy linked with that takeover. They've done something together in the past. That part of the world, I think I've heard.
Yeah, I asked him about it, and Mikhail was very, very quiet about this. Apparently, they're in some sort of financial arrangement, and there's a lot of people chained up in a basement somewhere, which is linked to this. So, we'll ask him when he's back on Monday. I will ask him. By the way, can I go on a quick detour? It is entertaining, I promise.
Of course you can.
Last game I was at, which was just the Carabao Cup. Man United run away. I take my 9-year-old lad, and he wants to know what all the songs are, which is a bit unfortunate because some of them weren't particularly nice about Cristiano Ronaldo. Highly amusing, but not.
Have you teached him the Danny Dyer one yet?
No, I'm trying to keep them off that. But there's one that and I was like, this is amazing that we still sing this, and it is, of course, my name is McCloskey. I come from near Moscow. I play and go for West Ham. You're like, this is a really old player. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is from. I remember Ludek. I loved him, but he's retired and then become goalkeeping coach and retired, and we still sing this. And not only is this an ancient song, but it is wildly geographically incorrect, which is why I bring this Czech thing up, because Prague is closer to London, like Moscow. Like, it is. It's nowhere near fucking Moscow. It's nowhere near Moscow. You can't. So, why do we sing this song? Not only is it ancient, it's geographically. He's 9. I can't have you knowing bad geography, son.
So your one is from near London. Is that what you sing?
Well, I sing along with everyone else because it's a funny song and it entertains me. But do you know what I mean? It is wildly geographically.
What about the
correct.
Christian Daily? Have you teached him that one? Yet?
Oh, I have, yeah, because it's so funny. And again, it's an ancient one, but it really makes me laugh. And we still do Big Fat Frank as well, and that just amazes me that we still do that. But it is funny, so I think that's why people love doing those older songs, and they're great fun. But it just amazed me that the Mick Fosco one is still going, you know?
Yeah. So, I thought we'd get him up on here, so we've got nothing. So, Mohamed Bayo, 23 years of age, current plays in League Is it League That's how you say it in France, isn't it? League Yeah, so obviously he's played in League 2 as well. So he's played 94 games, 45 goals and 15 assists. So in the
goals?
45. So he's played 51 games as a centre forward and scored 32 goals and 11 assists.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's good numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty.
Do you know why we should sign him? Because we can all go boom, boom, boom. Let me hear sing Bayo. That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? That'd be such a cool song. You know?
So no, yeah, epic. We're going to save that in our scrapbook, and when he signs in January, we'll buy you a pint. There we go.
Yeah, nice for an epic. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So I'm going in early. Jazz on the spot now. No thinking. Score tomorrow. What's the score going to be?
I'll go for 2-1 to West Ham. Yeah.
Who's scoring?
Antonio and Souček. It's been a while, isn't it? Yeah. Souček.
Mike, what about you?
1-0 to the Cockney boys.
Yeah.
Hey, another clean sheet. Love it.
I actually think by the way, last time I did a preview with you, I predicted 1-0 win, and I was right. Just pointing that out.
What one was that one?
Was it the Everton?
I think so.
Oh, it probably was. Yeah. I think you were actually. Yeah.
And you were all going multi-goal because of their injuries. And I said, no, I think it'll be clean sheet. It'll be 1-0. And
So we've got Mike. You need to come on every week now because it's 100% win record.
100% win record. I'm going 1-0 to Cockney boys. Pablo Fornals because it's been a while.
Pablo Fornals. Pablo Fornals. No. Do you know what I'm going for?
Go on.
I thought we might concede, but I'm going for a 3-0 win tomorrow. I think we're going to smash it. I think we're going to smash him. I keep saying it every week, Jazz, until he scores. Kurt Zuma's going to score his first goal for West Ham tomorrow. I keep saying it. We're getting close. I know we done a thingy. We done one earlier. We're going to get him up again. I love the man. Here we go. Oh, it's playing up. I was going to show Creswell's penalty. The internet's playing up, I think. But no.
We saw it. I saw it.
Oh, it must have been my end. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I saw it. It was good.
No, but like I said, I want to keep this short and sweet, really. Jazz, do you want to add anything before we go?
No, because I always like to look at any historical, memorable games between the two. And Mike, better than me, will probably remember the 1986 round. Ray Stewart 1-0 penalty against Villa. In that FA Cup run was a famous game, and then obviously the one where we played Umanimi, was it, when he wasn't meant to play in the League Cup?
I forgot about that. Yeah,
the quarter final that we won and had to play it again, and we lost with Villa. Those two games come to mind. Apart from that, again, interesting. Good win at Spurs last week. Really enjoyed that. Good win at City. News on this Czech guy trying to come into the club, and lots of things going on. Cup draw today, Spurs away. It's all happening, isn't it? And very, very busy. Even as a channel, Mike, we were saying it's hard work with 3 games a week. You know, we got to do like reviews and previews and all sorts going on, really. But I suppose we we'll take the pain, won't we, Andy? If we're doing well, I'll take it.
It's the price of success, boys. That's what it is.
Yeah, no. So obviously we've got another. So we'll probably do. So we've got probably do our post-match Monday for Villa. Then I've got my appreciation night for Aaron Creswell on Tuesday night.
Loving that.
And then Wednesday we'll preview Genk. And then Friday we'll post-match Genk. And then Saturday we'll preview Liverpool. And then the following Monday we'll do a post. So it's pretty much a show every day. What we're doing.
Yeah,
just watch it though, because sometimes when you say on the Wednesday we'll preview Genk, it just sounds like this could be a completely different channel. It's just the word Genk that makes me think that it could be something far racier.
But no, like we've. So what episode is this? So with Jazz. So in under 2 months, we've got 300 subscribers, and we're on our 37th episode.
Yes, well, so it seems like we've been doing it for longer, isn't it? It's just 7-8 weeks, literally. But yeah,
no, it's mad. Like I said, I'm going to try and do a vlog tomorrow, record as much as I can. But yeah, no, like I said, we've got Mike. He sort of dropped it there. He's going to be doing a few shows. We've got another surprise up our sleeve. Watch this space. So that'll be another show what Jazz and Mike will be doing. So yeah, the future's bright. And like you said, we keep getting amazing guests on the show, and that's people like Mike, Marshy, Dom, James. Like it's a great. We've had X on as well. So yeah, no, it's a great community. And like you said, we're doing something what we love, and obviously getting people like Mike on as well. Mike, we appreciate your time, mate.
Oh, my pleasure. It's great to be on here. I think you're right to celebrate where you're at, because you're putting the hard work in. But it's starting to show, and you've already got 300 subscribers. But what you're doing is really, really nice. You're building it the right way from the ground up in a community spirit. Really, really nice.
Yeah, and if you want some entertainment, obviously you can watch the 3 hours and 45 minutes, because someone actually did, Jazz, didn't they, yesterday? The rerun of our Thursday Mayhem 2.0. So well done for the people commenting on that. Obviously that was a bit messy as well. And if you want to watch it as well, we had some really good interaction with other fans in the Carabao Cup draw. So that we done that earlier. We had record number of views. Mike, we had 1.4k views so far on our draw for the Carabao Cup earlier. So yeah, we're slowly on the up, and we wouldn't be the same without everyone in the chat. I know Lawrence, Luke, Scott, you name it, and that's the reason why we're doing it. We're just doing something what we love, isn't it, Jazz?
Yeah, and we're going to be doing loads of different things, like that Mayhem show on Thursday was about everything but football. We talked about Matt in Mexico, explain how they cook steak out there, how his life is out there. Then they wanted to ask me, Jazz, what's the difference between Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi food? We trying to explain the difference. It's not easy after a few.
I got shouted at because Onion Bargie's not Indian. Jazz shouted at me. So we go from everything. So we're going to do that because of the fixture congestion. Because obviously we play Europa on Thursday. So every 2 weeks, that's that. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll have Thursday main free. You never know. Mike might make an appearance. You never know.
I'll be happy to, depending on work and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, I will definitely turn up for one, because do you remember I did actually see one of them?
Yeah, you come on, yeah.
And because they are really good fun to watch. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's a great thing to put on and chill out to, because it is
no
just
rules. Yeah,
mayhem's a good word.
Like you said, people can join as and when they want, leave as and when they can, talk about whatever they want. There's no rules, there's no formality. It's just grab a cup of tea, coffee, rum, beer, wine, whatever you want that time Thursday, because Thursday's a new Friday, like Andy in the show said. So it's a good laugh.
Yeah, and no, like I said, gents, hopefully we make it 5 wins on the row. I'm on the road tomorrow to Villa away, and yeah, we'll be back on Monday celebrating. Jazz, don't want to say anything else, do you?
It would be nice if you could just do a quick, funny video in the car with the guests. If you could, just a quick hello from the lads tomorrow. That'd be nice. And
what lads on tour?
Yeah, like everyone, like yeah, that'd be nice. Get Nicky
but I'm trying.
Yeah, tell him to say, watch West Ham Reunited, and then we'll put it up on Monday.
Yeah, obviously I won't be holding my phone because I will be driving.
Of course, can't do that. That would be good.
Yeah, no, and like I said earlier, Mike, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. We really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for asking me, guys.
Yeah, one thing left to
Mike, after we'll have a chat.
Yeah, one thing left to say, guys, is come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons. Always get the cost wrong way. Which way is it?
See you later, everyone.
I know something.